Welcome back friends to EPG Pathshala. Our today's topic is email and framework. If you people are developing dynamic websites into PHP, of course email is an integral part of sending from the website. So, our today's learning objectives are email, which will include mail as well as PHP Mailer and frameworks in PHP. So, first of all, let us start with a simple email program, but before beginning, PHP uses a mail function to send mail from your PHP program. Now, if you are developing a dynamic website or if you are using localhost, basically students' point of view, all the students are using localhost, you might not be using any professional servers. So, when you are using localhost, using mail function could prove to be a cumbersome task. Why? Because in order to send mail, I need to do various settings. I should first of all set my SMTP, I should provide a provider, that is, for example, say if I am sending mail to Gmail, then I should give the provider as smtp.gmail.com, that will be the server. My port has to be 587, and all these settings need to be done in your php.ini file, sendmail.ini file, and then to be integrated into your mail function. At times it is possible that your server might permit you integrating all the settings into one file, but that is not true always. Like if you have attempted doing mail, you would agree with me that how tedious task it is even to send a simple mail from your PHP script. So, first of all, let us have a look at how do you write a simple mail program, and then we move ahead to some easier ways of writing a mail from your PHP program. Mail function. The parameters required are recipient's email address, subject and body, and the optional parameters are the header and parameters. So, the mail function has in all 5 parameters, 2 subject, message, headers and the parameters. So, the program which we have written is the basic, we are writing here message. I have stored the variable welcome to EPG Pathshala. My header is from bhumikajisha@gmail.com. I am storing, mail is of course a boolean function which will return its success or failure. So, I am storing the output into the string variable. Here I am saying mail to bhumikajisha@gmail.com, the test mail, the message and the headers. Now, here you say that if it returned true, you say message sent, else you say message not sent. As it looks, a very simple program, isn't it? Of course, it is a simple program. As soon as you run it, it will also give you message sent successfully, but you will have or you will make all the efforts that why am I not getting mail in my inbox? Why am I not getting the mail? You might try sometimes, you might wait for some time, there might be delivery delay, there might be delivery failure, right? That is what we think. We assume that because it has returned us true, mail has returned us true, mail should come in my inbox, but that is not the only possibility. There are n number of other reasons why your email might not be delivered to your inbox. The first reason being, as you observed, which server we have used? We have used Gmail. So, when I have used Gmail, Gmail does not permit the mails from programs because of the security reasons. So, just for testing, or if you want to test, what you should do? You should change the security features time being of Gmail, allow the less secure apps. Let me show. To change the security settings of Gmail, you can go to myaccount.google.com, go to sign in and security, then signing into Google. You have this allow less secure apps on. I have made it on. By default it is off. So, making this security changes will enable your Gmail to allow the programs allow the mails from the programs, but that is not the only case. My mail from the mail function also might not be permitted by SMTP, by the server, that is sending your email from the local host is not so much easier, because if I am sending through local host, the advisable options are sending it on the local host, having some pickup directory, etc. But what I am attempting here, I am attempting to send it to Gmail. Your mail function would permit you some private domain, you are having some GoDaddy website and which is not having any secured connections, and if you are using that email address, of course your mail function would permit that. But if I am using the standardized mail boxes, whether it is Gmail or Yahoo, then I would have to consider the security considerations. Now, students most of the time love PHP because of its rich set of libraries. So, when it is the experience that whenever you tell the students to directly write the function without using any API, it looks a difficult task, isn't it? So, in order to have API for mails also, you have an inbuilt library rich function called PHP Mailer. PHP Mailer has got a rich set of collections of libraries where it does all the settings for you. It gives you the parameters for SMTP, for your port, for your host, whatever. You define everything into one file and you are through with your mail program. So, let us have another example of the PHP Mailer. PHP Mailer is library, as I said earlier, collection of functions which provides building and sending email messages. The difference between PHP Mailer and Mail is, of course, as we just saw, it is not so much user friendly. PHP Mailer completely user friendly. You need to integrate the mail server, SMTP and etc. on your own considerations. PHP Mailer, of course, it does everything automatically for you, and that is why it is widely used or popular among students or the beginners who are using PHP or are learning PHP. So, our program of PHP Mailer, let us have a look at our program for PHP Mailer. Here I have created a new program, sendmailnew.php, but before even you start, when you want to use PHP Mailer, first of all you will need to download the library or from GitHub. I have given the download link separately. You have got the download link at the end of this document. You will have to download this library from GitHub. It is freely available, of course. Once you download that from GitHub, you will get with the file called PHP Mailer, you will have a file called autoload. So, we will make few changes into those files only. So, here creating your new program, I have given the name sendmailnew. Require is autoload.php. Make sure you have downloaded already, you have this autoload.php and you are including this autoload.php. Though we have not made any changes into this file, we have just included this file. Coming back to our program, sendmailnew.php. So, here you specify all the parameters. First of all, we created instance of PHP Mailer class, my $mail variable. I am saying is SMTP true, my host is gmail.com, authorization is also true, username I have given my username, password you can give your username and your password. Secure TLS, encryption SSL also is accepted, we have used TLS. The port number is important, 587 is the port number with which I would like to connect. The from parameters, reply to, address, CC, BCC, etc. whatever parameters you can specify. Here body content, we have seen how to send email by localhost by Bhumika, and if it connects successfully, you are giving the message sent, else you are throwing the error, message has not been sent. After writing your program, you also have, as you can see, I have sendmail.ini, I have php.ini. Though initially I had done the changes here, I had specified the port, the localhost settings into these files, but believe me, those are not really compulsory. Even if you skip this, your program is going to work with PHP Mailer. So, at times troubleshooting requires adding things into sendmail.ini and php.ini. To open sendmail and PHP, you can go to htdocs or XAMPP and you will be able to open sendmail.ini and php.ini. Now, once we have written this program of sending the mail, in order to test your program, you need to go to the browser and run your script of PHP. After running or executing it in PHP, you will have to check into your Gmail inbox whether the program actually arrives, because whenever, even though the program shows a success, it is not always necessary that this type of programs are going to throw the mail into your inbox. So, first we already made the changes to Google even before running your program. As we already saw, change the security settings of Google, allow the less secure apps, only then you are getting the email. Still, if you get error, the troubleshooting options you should consider are check the Gmail security, check SMTP, check php.ini and check sendmail.ini. These 4 things, if are perfect, the mail should definitely come into your inbox. So let us test into the browser how your mail is actually sent. So, your program which we have already written. So, I am going to the browser and running my program sendmail new.php. I get the message has been sent, but as I told you earlier, where am I supposed to check? I should check in my inbox that whether the message has been actually sent. So, check into the inbox, it will give you Gmail security feature warning that you have disabled. So, email from localhost and the body which I had written. This is how my mail has been sent to the Gmail. So, we have seen how do we send mail to Gmail actually, also saw receiving the mail into the Gmail inbox. Now, let us have a look at what are the different types of frameworks available in PHP. Now, as we already know, why PHP is famous among students, because of the rich collection of libraries, because of the rich collection of ready-made things available, isn't it? It makes your development faster. You can develop dynamic websites much easily and quickly. So, the editor which we usually use or which traditionally we kept using for developing programs of PHP were Notepad or Notepad++. But Notepad or Notepad++ did not manage your entire code. What do I mean by managing the code? If I am having a project, entire project, my project might have say 10 or 15 different PHP files, right. So, when I am having such different PHP files, of course, I am maintaining a folder, but when I want to work simultaneously in any of them or want to have collectively whole as a project, I need a framework. Framework is basically a collection of libraries, but which also comes with development guidelines and also gives you some ready-made functionalities available. That is certain crude features you say, or designing part you say, or you say get or post, or you say mail, whatever, you get some ready-made functionalities available. So, you just need to apply your logic and your programs or your scripts are ready. So, we will have a look at different types of frameworks available and the framework which we have used and showing you the screenshot of the framework which we have used. Frameworks in PHP provide structured way with built-in modules, uses MVC architecture, enforces coding standards and guidelines, improved scalability and quality. Improved stability and quality, easy to upgrade and maintain the developed application, and the most important point being good community support. That is, whatever issue you have, whatever challenge you have, you are not getting something, you post it on community, and believe me, it is my own experience that you get the response within hours, sometimes within minutes as well. So, a very good community support. The different types of frameworks which are readily available: Laravel, CodeIgniter, Cake PHP, Symfony and Zend framework. We will have introduction or overview of each one of them, and then we will move to CodeIgniter. The first framework being Laravel, which I am talking about. Laravel is a very new entrant into the market, launched in 2011, a very new entry into the market, but still it is very popular among PHP developers. The reason being the rich set of libraries, very easy toolkit and easy to develop dynamic applications. So, Laravel, as popularly known as the framework for web artisans, it is open source framework which follows MVC architecture, has a simple toolkit, but also provides security features. The additional or important feature which it has is instant hosting and deployment. Second framework being Cake PHP. Cake PHP is already a decade old, that is older than Laravel, I should say. Cake PHP being already a decade old, it has some common web development tasks, easy to use toolkits. But in comparison to Laravel, if you say, there are certain features of ease of deployment features or the collection of libraries features are not as much as Laravel. Cake PHP was initially popular among developers when it launched, but over a period of time, new frameworks coming into the market, Cake PHP has lost its importance. Then we go to other frameworks, Symfony and Zend framework. Symfony was initially introduced as set of reusable libraries. So, set of reusable libraries, they created the libraries or the task which are required again and again, and they created the libraries for those purposes. And whenever, for example, if you take a database connectivity task, so database connectivity is provided as a library, the connect function which you use usually, and you import the library and you use that. So, it was known as Zend framework for dedicated as the set of reusable libraries. It has a low performance overhead and has a set of tools and development methodology. Then we come to Zend framework. This is the only object oriented framework. Also, the licensing requirements are different for Zend framework. All others follow different functionalities, but this framework follows object oriented functionality, completely pure object oriented. The advantageous feature of Zend was it has a collection of more than 60 packages. It consists of inbuilt packages and has a collection of more than 60 packages, 60 plus packages. But Zend framework is not advisable for students. It is advisable for large companies or complex web projects. Zend framework usually is not used for smaller projects or smaller data sets. Wherever you have some complex systems, of course, Zend framework will give you advantage, but for smaller systems it might prove as a performance overhead. So, then we come to CodeIgniter. CodeIgniter, even though it is decade old, but still it is famous among students, used by many student communities. And what is the reason of CodeIgniter being so famous or being so much used? Because CodeIgniter provides you a very lightweight framework, has a rich set of APIs, of course, gives you all the connectivity issues, all the ready to use libraries. But most important part is it is very easy to learn. It has a well documented source which makes students easy to learn and easy to accept. and that is why CodeIgniter is very much used or in the market. Though it comes behind Laravel, Laravel comes on the top position for top 5 frameworks of PHP, but still in the student community, as per our experiences, we have seen most of the students using CodeIgniter. We also in our project, in one of the project, have used CodeIgniter. We keep using CodeIgniter. So, we will also show you the screenshots of CodeIgniter. So, first of all, CodeIgniter is a lightweight PHP framework, is known for its flexibility and easy installation, is popular among beginners and developers as has a rich set of APIs. The CRUD functionality is very well integrated into CodeIgniter, as the database related tasks are implemented very easily and quickly. I hope you already know what do you mean by CRUD, because you people have done PHP and you must be aware, even though you are not. CRUD is create, read, update and delete all your database related tasks. CRUD gives you to a ready API available for your database related task. Whichever task you have, you include that API or you integrate, make use of that API. So, how do you, whatever all these frameworks are hosted on GitHub. So, whichever framework you want to download, you can go on to GitHub repository and you can download your framework. All are of course open sources, they are available free for download. I have given links for all of them at the end of this presentation. You can access those links and you can download your framework, desired framework, and keep going. This is the comparative analysis of all the frameworks. When was it launched? What functionalities do they have? So, Laravel, as I told you already, a recent entry. All others are in between 5 and 6, Symfony, CodeIgniter, Cake or Zend. The latest version number of all of them, Laravel being, even though the recent entry it is 5.4, Symfony, CodeIgniter, Cake PHP and Zend are in 3 or 2 series. The features of Laravel are the schema builder, database agnostic migration, the easiest toolkit. Symfony includes event dispatcher, dependency injector, etc. CodeIgniter has template engine class. As I told you earlier, query builder database connectivity is very easy and very simple. Query builder, encryption features and application profiling. Cake PHP has strong authentication facilities and also has support for console. Zend framework, as we said, it has collection of more than 60 plus packages, so package dependency manager and end-to-end encryption. Some prominent projects who have used Laravel are DeltaNet, WorldWalking, Fusion Invoice, Symfony, the most iconic or the most famous Drupal has used Symfony. Laravel also is based on Symfony, PHP BB and ORO CRM. CodeIgniter, small SEO tools and buffer. Cake PHP, BMW Express, Sainsbury Bank, etc. uses Cake PHP, and Zend framework is used by Cisco and BNP Paribas Bank. All others have licensing of MIT except Zend. Zend follows the licensing features of new BSD. So, these are the top 5 comparisons. Top 5 comparisons of top 5 frameworks. Now, let us have a view at CodeIgniter. As I said, we have used CodeIgniter into our projects. This is the blank screen. As soon as you download CodeIgniter from GitHub, you will get a zip file which you can unzip into your directory. As soon as you unzip the directory, you get the framework structure. These are your unregistered, I have not created any project for this. This is untitled CodeIgniter. I will come to it when I show you the registered or my titled CodeIgniter framework. By default, you get this many files, your CodeIgniter version 3.1.5. It has configuration file, it has manual for the user, it has user guidelines, it has readme, it has licensing information. etc. This is the basic first file without writing anything. Here we have still not written any code for any of the files. Now, after you integrate, now here this is the screenshot of my program. I have titled my all these programs are available. I am using certain inbuilt libraries and any of the code of, for example, another program. Here we are displaying you only the framework. I have not selected any file. When you select the file, the code will be displayed here. So, this is my file, database connectivity file. I have passed the host name, I have passed the username, password, etc. I will be accepting those things from the users. So, this is the database connectivity file, basic connection. I just want to show you that how it looks like when you are using it into the framework. And finally, when I am using a leave application. So, if this is my program, how have I written my program and how have I integrated this program, what are the functions I have written, how can I integrate those functions into my program or into my framework. It is not always possible or not always necessary that everybody might like the framework, everybody might use the framework. Initially, in comparison to your Notepad++, you might not find coding in framework easy, but when you start or when you start writing 2 or 3 programs, 2 or 3 scripts rather, you feel that there are so many things which are given in build, there are so many libraries which are included in build, and your code is reduced to minimum, and then it becomes a dependency kind of thing that you cannot code without framework. That is the feedback which we have from the students, that you should have a framework and then you code into that framework. So, after that is whichever framework you use, make sure that you know your basic logic building. Don't code or don't program on the basis of the functionalities which framework provide, but build your applications on the basis of the requirement of a creation of website. Keep frameworks as just a helping hand. So, finally, we see one more module where I have coded all the functions, different functions which you can see. So, our leave.php is there, where I have created a class of leave module, extends the function. So, here when I am using framework, all these things, all the functions are provided automatically to me by the framework. Here you can see all my PHP programs are managed here in the framework. These are certain third party, these are certain system developed files, the log files, the txt, etc. So, when of course, frameworks are giving me the advantages, but at the same time, if I am used to writing so much of inbuilt or used code, at times we have personally have the feeling that you might forget actually to code without the frameworks. So, do not make yourself handicapped, but do use the frameworks, we are not denying that fact, but use as per your requirement. Do not use frameworks as per the framework's requirement. What do I want to convey? I want to convey that if your website's requirement is your designing should be in such forms, you should stick to that requirement. Do not change that requirement that no, code igniter will not permit this, crude will not permit this. No, do not do that. Explore the framework, everything could be done and everything could be easily integrated. It is also possible that you include your separate PHP files into your this project. All those things are possible and feasible. So, certain references which I told you already, these are the references from where you can download the PHP mailer, you can download code igniter, you can view the PHP manual, or a very good book of PHP which we usually refer to the students is PHP and MySQL Web Development is a very nice book of PHP. So, I hope you enjoyed today's session. First of all, we did mail, Then in mail we did basic mail as well as the PHP mailer, and we saw different types of frameworks. So, I hope you will be developing dynamic websites very easily, very quickly. All the best to you for your website development. Thank you.